Hey, I'm Supats, lifelong solopreneur. Now living my life with only one passion to help solopreneurs to launch their digital products on fast track so that they can be profitable as fast as within 1 week, and they want to scale, they can join the membership. And as a bonus, I show them how they can sell their digital products all over the world using affiliates. Without further delay, let's get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to New Beginning Inspiration for You podcast. And as our promise, we have a special guest today. But today's guest is really going to be revolutionary, sir, because especially for North America. Let me just give you background why he is going to change your life completely. I am from India. I came to US like a 3 decades back, and culture in India that time when I was growing up in India was totally different than US culture. The culture in India was like that. My parents both worked, and we lived in half of my one of my parents salary, and one and half salary went into bank, either into investments or savings or something, or charity. My parents were really big on charity. They helped um, families, extended families, big time. So we lived just like 25% of total income. And when I came here, my husband said we need to develop credit. So I said, okay. I had no idea. I said, okay. So he said, we have to get loan. See, I can't understand how it is related to loan, and when you have to get into debt and then you develop your credit. I had absolutely no idea. Then I started working in corporate America. I got some unexpected bonus once, and everybody in my group were talking how they are going to spend. And for me, okay, I got unexpected money, but means it is just going to the bank, because you should be always ready for rainy day, right? So I was not thinking of spending at all, and they were really shocked. They say, you are not thinking of spending this extra money? I said, no. He said, how come? I said, no, means basically for us, it is like we live in just 25% of our total income, and everything else goes into charity or investments or various other things. They were really shocked, and they said, we live paycheck to paycheck. And that was totally different concept for me. I couldn't comprehend. And then I started to know about all these things like credit card debts and people getting loan at high interest rate, and all those things that I still cannot comprehend. After being, I have been in US way longer. I was in India, and still it is really hard for me to understand. And when I came across Tommy's, his profile, and he is designing all his offers for you to get out of debt. And I felt so nice. I say, okay, at least somebody is thinking like me. So I'm so excited to interview him today. So stage is all yours, Tommy. Just take it away and just tell people how they can be debt free, how they can live their life in peace. And it is a totally fulfilling life when you don't have any debt, and when you are actually flourishing, and when you are prosperous, when you have everything in abundance. It is a totally different feeling. And here today's guest, he is going to take us on that journey. So let me ask you, how did you get started into this business? Because this is really amazing, and I think everyone living in North America, I think it will be useful with your solutions, with your offers. So tell me, how did you get started with your journey?
I had written a book and it was on health and healing. And in 2004, I was so successful that a infomercial company contacted me and we signed an agreement. And I was to be put on the radio to test market different ideas of how we were going to present to the public. And I was going to go on for about 6 months. So it was sometimes I would be up at 3 o'clock in the morning and other times be all throughout the day. So I really couldn't focus on work. So I used my 3 credit cards to live on. And after about 6 months, one of the talents got in trouble with the FTC about some false claims he made in his book, and eventually brought down the company. And so our contracts were canceled. And I was left with $85,000 of credit card debt. So that put me in a little bit of a tailspin. So about a month later, coming out of depression, because how am I going to pay for this? Because I was promised to make about 100,000 a month. So that 85,000 was no big deal at all. But with no income, it is a big deal. So I remember my dad being a CPA, and I was going to be a CPA. And I realized that the bank never had an invoice to make a claim that there was a debt. And then you think, well, it was a loan. But I remember reading Modern Money Mechanics, which was a book put out by the Federal Reserve for our banking class that taught us what banks do. And to make a loan, the banks have to accept your promissory note first before they write numbers into your checking account. That's basically what they do. They don't borrow money from someone else and give it to you. They create this out of fiat, out of just nothing. And then I remember that my father-in-law was a attorney and a judge, and we had lots of discussions about contracts and how if there's fraud involved, it undoes all contracts. So I figured out I did not have a contractual agreement with the bank. They didn't uh, produce me any goods or services, so there was no invoice, and they never made a loan. So I was kind of watching a YouTube, early YouTube back then, and a guy was promoting to go to federal court, and he was talking about how easy it was. The judges are so nice to you, and they're very helpful. And so I decided, okay, I will file 3 federal lawsuits in Los Angeles and see what happens. We got started. Of course, the banks responded. I talked to their attorneys. I would keep them on for an hour or two, knowing that they were being charged $500 an hour. So I was trying to run their bill up to the banks. And then the judge called me in, and I showed up, and he said, Mr. Kilpatrick, do you have a credit card? I said, well, what can I say? Can I start at the beginning? Oh, we'll get to that. Pull your wallet out. I pull my wallet out. It says, pull the card out. What's it say on there? Credit card. So you have a credit card, right? What can I say? Yes. Oh, well, then he got me. Because once you start with that, you've got debt and there's no out of it. He said, I throw the cases out. So I walked out thinking I lost, right? Well, 30 days later, I looked at my credit report and all 3 debts were gone. I never got sued and I never got a 1099-C. A 1099-C is when you notify the IRS that if you loan somebody money and they don't pay you back, that's considered income to them and a loss to you, so you can take it off your taxes. So it came to a realization that in my pleading, I explained the whole scam. And I said, if the bank is going to put out issue a 1099-C, I will complain with a 3949A, which is a IRS form about fraudulent action of people. So they will be they'd be fraudulently issuing a 1099-C. So the bank knew, I knew, and a judge reading the pleading knew, I knew, and he would not allow this to become public knowledge. So he dismissed the case. And the banks not taking the risk of me appealing this ruling and maybe getting it overturned and continue on with a deposition date. That's what I was pushing hard for, with a date for a deposition of someone in the bank who's going to say that they have an invoice. Where's your copy of the certified promissory note? And so they wouldn't have that. So they knew, I knew, so they just wanted to walk away. So I'm a doubting Thomas. And I want you to doubt me. I don't want you to believe anything I have to say. I have sent you some links so you can verify what I'm saying. And the best thing is to send this podcast to your CPA and this will work any place in the world. It doesn't just necessarily have to be the United States, but that's because that's where I lived. That's where I figured this out. But basically the three arguments is one, the bank never provided goods or services, so they're not a merchant. They could not have issued you a credit card. Two, they could not have issued you a loan because there was never a promissory note. And three, you do not have a contractual agreement because if you use the card, you agree to the terms and conditions. That doesn't apply. So the question is, how can you nuke your credit card debts? So, well, if you say you have a debt, you've got a debt, and there's nothing I can do for you. Now, we will watch the TV and we'll see a bank robber, and the news always says alleged. Well, if you use the same word, now you're forcing the bank to produce the evidence of a debt. So now the question is, how can you nuke your alleged credit card debt? Well, what you do is, first of all, there are true credit cards. Let me give you an example. If you need a tire and you go into a tire store, but you don't have the money, they could say, oh, why don't you apply for an in-store credit card and see what happens? Well, you get approved. Fantastic. So they're thrilled. You get new tires put on your car, they balance them, and off you drive. And a month later, you get a statement and you pay. Now, if you don't pay, they have the outstanding unpaid invoice. They have the date, they have the tires, they have the service they provided for you, the taxes, everything is all there on the bill, and you owe that money. This does not, what I'm saying, does not work for this. That's a true debt. Now, how do you know a true credit card from a phony one? Look on the back
Mm-hmm.
of the credit card. If that says on the back of, let's say, Walmart or Amazon or some department store, if that card says issued by Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Deutsche Bank, whatever bank is in your country, that is a phony card. And that's the one you can challenge.
Oh, I never knew that. So, oh, okay, okay. This is really great to know because, oh my goodness, every day I hear something or other, and the top two things actually came into my mind, but it might be out of the scope of your services, but I will mention them anyway. And if they are out of your scope, yeah, please let me know. First thing, once actually what happened, twice there was $5,000 taken out of our bank, and my husband called me and he says me, oh, you took out $10,000 from the account. I said, no, I never did that, and why would I do that without telling you or asking you? Then he said, there are two transactions and $10,000 are missing from our account. So we just told bank, and bank said, I think it was some internal problem, and bank immediately deposited that money back into our account. I have no idea how it happened, what was the case. And now my friend is fighting with a bank in Canada, and it's a MasterCard, and somebody did a fraudulent charge on her card, and it was a huge like 10,000, and she immediately reported, and she has been fighting with the bank for almost like more than a year, and bank said, okay, we'll take out some money, but still you have to pay like a $3,000 or something like that. And she said, means why would I pay, because none of the charges are actually approved by me, and bank is not at all willing to listen. And she is saying that I will pay $10,000 to lawyers, but I'm not paying a single cent to you. So now she has hired another lawyer. So I don't know, it might be out of your scope, but do you have any suggestion to her? Because I'm seeing her suffering almost more than 1 year for this case. What can you suggest to her?
That's a new one. I'm not familiar with all the details. Generally, when you do protest, they will take it off because it's a fraud. You might have to have that attorney send a letter to the bank, uh, explaining things, and then you'll have to go to court to get the money back. In one sense, they might have a small claims that they have in America, which has a limit. That makes it simpler for people. But yeah, that's a difficult one. See, the thing is,
Oh, okay.
because on my what I do is then people will say, well, yeah, the bank does not have an invoice, so they don't have a debt, but they loaned you the money. Oh, so now we have to shift gears and we talk about a bank giving you a loan. So I'll kind of cover your answer later on. I'll come back to it. But what happens is that the banks are only involved in loans. So when you go in the bank with no money in your pocket, you want to come out with money in your pocket. Legally would be with a loan. So when you apply for a loan and you're denied, do you still get the loan? No, no. When you're denied, you don't get the loan. But if you get approved of a loan, then you come in and you fill out loan documents. And then you have to prove you have income, because how are you going to pay the loan back? You have to prove you have some source of income. You also have to put up collateral, like the house or the car or something, if you're going for a personal loan, that the bank can confiscate and take back and sell it to get their money back, right? And then they have to have a credit report because it shows your history, and your credit score determines your interest rate. And the last thing you sign is a promissory note. And that's the critical thing. If you don't sign a promissory note, there cannot be a loan. That's the only way the bank can do this, is if you sign and you promise to pay them, now they write numbers, whatever numbers they want to do, into a checking account, a free checking account. That's how you get access to your money. So that's the question, is how do I nuke my bank issued alleged credit card debt? And remember, that's the way I phrase it. Bank issued versus a merchant issued, which you have to pay, but a bank issued alleged. So now they're alleging they have a credit card. And how you do that is all you do is you write a letter to the bank. Now, what kind of letter? Well, you write the letter to ask them to close your free checking account. Now, back to your friend's problem. See, if she follows my advice, she's going to send them a letter to close the free checking account. But the problem is they've already taken the money out. So, and when you ask them to close
Yeah.
your account, they keep the money. That's another thing that's crazy about this. So you have to max out your cards, basically, if we want to say it that way, but you want to get your money back in your own hands before you close the account. So what checking account? And that is the next question, is when you go into the bank with money and you leave the bank without some of it or all of it, what you have done is you've taken money and you've opened up a savings account or a checking account, right? So
Yeah.
that's considered a loan. You are loaning the bank money. You take money and you loan it, you put it in your checking account. Then as you use that money, your money, then the bank owes you less. And you get a statement at the end of the month. So what banks do is they advertise to get you as a customer. Years ago, they used to give you a toaster or a wall clock. And one time I was looking at a newspaper and there's an ad that says, come into our bank, deposit $25, and in 90 days, we will match it. So I did that. On day 91, I went in, took my money out, $50 of my money, and closed the account. Now I have a question for you, Sue. Did I rip off the bank?
No.
No. Did I steal from the bank? No.
No.
They made a deal that said if you come
Yeah.
in and keep it there for 90 days, it's your money. So there's a guy on YouTube that says to do that. And I have that link for you. And he makes $361 so far by just depositing his money into a bank. And they have paid him, in a sense, $361 for free. This is exact same thing as when they send you a $500 credit card. It's not a credit card. It's a gift card. You applied for a card. They gave you the card. The word is gave. You didn't fill out any documents. You didn't sign a promissory note. This is not this. This is to open up a free checking account. So you received your $500 gift card disguised as a credit card. And what did you do with it? You might have gone to Home Depot and bought a toilet, let's say a golden throne. So you're walking out of Home Depot with your toilet, and someone at the door says, "Hey, did you pay for this?" And you show them the receipt, because Home Depot is going to be paid that night or the next day. And they're being paid by the bank, but the bank's advertising budget, that budget is there to get you as a customer. Why this is so important is, on average, the banks make $23.04 per card holder. So if you have 1 million card holders, you're bringing in $23 million a month. And this is on a free checking account that they're charging you interest on, late fees, overdraft fees, annual fees. So they've lied to you, induced you through an appearance of a debt to get you to write a check out. And that's what you did. You're being a good person. You were told that this was a loan. So you wrote a check out and you mailed it to the bank. That first time you sent money to the bank that's when they deposited. And that was a loan from you to the bank. It's your money. And every subsequent purchase has been with your own money. There was never a loan. There was never a debt. There was an upfront money to get you to open an account. And then what they did is they charged you interest. They sent you a statement. Now, when you get a normal statement from your checking account, is that a bill? No, it's not a bill. It shows you what you started with, your deposits, your checks, your debits, and other charges and stuff. And then you have an ending balance. That's the same thing with your alleged bank issued alleged credit card statement. It's just a statement. It's not a bill. So what you can do with this whole thing is we write a letter to the bank, and that would be the weakest place to start with. They say, "I want to close my account." They will close your account, but they're going to keep any of your money in there. That's why I said to withdraw your money first before you write this letter, because they're going to keep that money. Then what you do is a little bit more powerful, is have your CPA write a letter saying that I will be the expert witness. And first of all, the bank never has an invoice because they never provided any goods or services to my client. And two, there never was a loan because my client never signed a promissory note. Now, that's good. Now, to make it even more powerful, you have your attorney write a letter that says that case law, the Supreme Court has ruled over and over again that fraud undoes contracts. Now, this may not apply to another country, but all you got to do is find an attorney who will say that same thing, because no court in the world is going to allow a criminal to bring you in to enforce their criminal activities. Then the courts are involved in crime. They can't handle that. So that's why fraud undoes all contracts. You're not obligated to the contract. So that's what you can do. And the best thing I have is I have all the court documents. I have it all. So I have the complaint and I have the discovery. We have demand for production documents, interrogatories, admissions. But the great thing is you can demand a deposition. And that usually happens about 10 days minimum. At least you have to give them 10 days after they answer the complaint. So you've already got some dates anticipated of when the deposition could occur. The bank does not want a deposition. They don't want you talking to anybody and revealing all this as public knowledge. So the best thing I have is an injunction. So when you file a lawsuit, you are saying to the court, the bank is coming after me for money. I don't owe them anything. And I want them to prove that I actually have a debt with them. So in 30 days, they have to, one, produce an invoice. Two, they got to produce a copy, certified copy of a promissory note. You've asked for an affidavit of debt. So someone in the bank has to swear out on a stack of Bibles that you have a debt. And fourth, they got to name the person who is going to be in court, in trial, on the jury, in the jury's, in front of the jury, stating that you have a debt. Now, if they don't perform that in 30 days, now they're in contempt of court. And now they're in trouble for accusing you of a debt they have no evidence for. So the whole point of this is fill out all the paperwork. It's like a brick and it's a lot of paper, and you don't file. You don't spend the money to the court. You mail that to the agent of registry, which is their person who takes lawsuits, and they'll immediately pass it over to the attorney. The attorney might notice that there's no docket number, but the whole point is for that attorney to talk to your attorney, and all we want to do is what happened to me, click, 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 and all of the debt is off your credit report. No 1099-C, and you part ways, and you might have to end up signing a non-disclosure agreement because they don't want this to be public knowledge. So that's how you can nuke your credit card debt. So for your friend who's got this problem, see where it is. They owe her 10,000. So she's got to get that money back before she closes the account, if she does, if she wants to. So it's up to you. So that's basically what I do to help people. So I have a book I wrote. It's available in India. I saw that on the Amazon of India, and it's all around the world. It's called Forgive and Forget: How to Nuke Your Credit Card Debt. And I also have a free 15-minute consultation, which I'll give you my email or my Facebook. So contact me there. And if you do contact me, I will send you that $69 book for free, because I want you to get out of debt. And what I'm really kind of looking for is my best client is a company, let's say, with $500,000 of bank-issued alleged credit card debt. And they're going under. And they're going under because of all the debt load. Their board of directors have all maxed out their cards, trying to keep this business going. They're into it for $500,000 total. So we've got $1 million of credit card debt that can be wiped out in a matter of 45 days because their CFO is most likely a CPA and will state all this. Their vice president is probably their counsel, their legal counsel, who is an attorney, who will write the letter, so, and do the negotiating. And so it would be very simple that they could be out of that debt, because it never was a debt in the first place. It was their own money. So they better take the money out first. And that's how I get paid. So it costs them nothing. They get rid of all the debt. The company stays afloat and things are great. So that's why I kind of came onto the podcast. There's some company out there that needs me, and I'll be able to, and I'll help anybody that comes along the way. Very simple.
And that's really great to know. I'll tell my friend to contact you.
Mhm.
So, in general, you can help businesses get out of debt. But if someone is, I work with aspiring entrepreneur and budding solopreneurs who are thinking of starting business, and they really don't have much resources in the bank, and they wear so many hats. They are scared even to outsource the work because they don't have that many resources. They don't have that much of money lying in the bank and all. Can you help them? What can you do for them?
Well, thank you for that question. Here's a funny thing about what I just told my story is I was off grid. I was living on farms for about 10 years. I had enough of the whole business thing. So I took a vow of poverty for 10 years, and I took a walk in faith with God. So I ended up all the way across the country. And then about 9 months ago, things happened, and I'm on the outside now. And so I needed to have my like a credit card. I had no score. I had nothing on my credit report, completely clean because of 10 years, there was nothing there. So I contacted Capital One, and they gave me a $500 credit card, even though I didn't have a credit report and no credit score. The reason is I was a previous customer. I had sued them for $35,000, and they gave me a card. So I must be a good customer because they took off the derogatory things off my credit report and took that account off. So I must be good. So, and then from there, I was able to raise the score up to like about a 500. And then within about 2 months of doing some things, I got a score of like 650. And then about 5 months later, I'm at a 703. So there is a way that I know that you can do it legally. There's nothing shady about it all, but there's things that you need to do to get a loan on, and it's very simple from a credit union, and they will report a loan to the credit reporting agency, and you make your payments, and it's just money you borrowed from yourself. It's funny. They take your money and they consider it a loan, and you make payments to yourself, and they report that. So now you have a good history, and that will raise your credit score. So yes, I can help people who are looking for credit because there's lots of banks out there that are offering things, and you can take advantage of their offer. So yes, there's many ways you can do this.
So, when someone wants to use your services, where can they find you? Where can they know all the details of your offerings and how? So, yeah, just let us know where can they find you.
Well, I'm Tommy A. Kilpatrick on Facebook, and that'll be a show link. I'll have my email there too, and they can reach out to me. And I have like a little landing page. If they want to go there, they can get a free book, but not this book I'm talking about, but another free book on finance and stuff. But yeah, it'll be in the show notes, including the links, what I'm talking about, where the banks cannot uh, loan money and they do not take deposits. The second link is about the Federal Reserve Bank with their modern money mechanics that say they have to have a promissory note. And then there's a case law about the bank, about the court's ruling that fraudulent activity does not allow you to continue with a contract. So fraud undoes all contracts. So those links are there in your show notes.
Thank you. So, what is your next plan? What is your goal? What is your vision?
What I'm here for is the money I'm going to make from this endeavor goes to what I came here to the Philippines for, is to teach farmers how to build dome houses out of bamboo. And I go back to the farm I was at to finish a workshop. So we're doing a workshop there on how to build a dome house and then cover it in mud. So this farmer knows how to build mud houses, and I know how to build dome houses with bamboo. So we're going to do that together. And then I teach vertical farming. So no more bending over. That's what we've been doing for 10,000 years. We can do it all vertically and have all the food up. So it just takes the pressure off your back. And then I also want to set up free medical clinics for locals. So when we help and heal the foreigners, they pay in dollars, euros, Deutschmarks, yen, and we convert that to pesos, and I can help 1,000 of my fellow Filipinos here with their free medical care. So yeah, I've got a lot of projects going on in the future.
Wow, that is really great. And how did you decide to go to Philippines?
Well, let's see, I was headed actually to Argentina because I had set up a detoxification clinic for the drug addicts. And the problem is I can detoxify their body in 30 days. I can detoxify their mind in about 90 days. But when they go back into their toxic, polluted environment, they're just going to repeat. And that's all they're doing is repeating until they die. So my plan was to go to Argentina. And if you take $7,000 and make an investment there, in 2 years, they give you a passport. And that's what I was looking for. So the idea would be to take these cleaned up drug addicts who are not violent. They're not violent. Let me emphasize that they're not violent. They just happen to be a drug addict and they just got caught buying drugs or something. And so I would ask the judge for a let's see, it's a pardon, a conditional pardon. So they'll be able to get a passport and be able to leave the country. They would go to a farm, live there, learn how to be a man, how to grow their own food, how to build a house, bamboo, or of any kind of indigenous wood there, or any products that you can do. and they would learn the vertical farming. They'd get a new name, they'd get a new wife, they have a new life. And now if they want to come back, they have letters of recommendation from all kinds of people who say this is a very good person, they've done very good work. And the judge can then take that conditional to make it a permanent pardon. And so that took them out of that environment. So that was my plan. But I helped a friend of mine out. And so he told me about his relationship he was having with a Filipina online. And he told me about a friend of his who married a Filipina. And when he comes home from work, he sits down, she takes the shoes off, gives him a foot massage, the house is clean, there's food on the table. Well, that's something I'm looking forward to. So I decided to go to the Philippines first and to find my, what we say here, let's see, Naga Pangita San Asawa. So I came here looking for a wife. So I've learned the language in 30 days. I am writing a new book on how to speak Hiligaynon in 30 days. And that will be out in about a month. And then I'll do it for Bisaya and also for Tagalog. That's their official language. So I'll have those three books out, and I'll do it for Hindi. I'll do it for Russian. I'll do it for all the books, because with the AI, it's really simple because I'll have a template and it'll just change the words. So it's a very new revolutionary concept of how to learn a language, because it's what you want to learn, not what someone's trying to teach you. So you decide what's important to you, what words you want to learn, and then you get instant feedback. Because I walk down the street, I'm able to talk to people, walk with people, get on the bus, go to the market. So in just a matter of a few days, you're speaking and writing and reading the language that you're interested in.
Before I started this podcasting episode, I was under impression that I'll be asking you questions only about the money and the debt and the bank and the card and all. But no, you are like opening up a totally different chapter in front of me. First of all, I am actually I have written some books. I have not published yet. They are in the process. I would like to know more about your book publishing process, and also this is really different side. This I never knew that you are helping out drug addicts. You are building houses in Philippines and vertical farming and all. Yeah, so just share your vision and how, if someone wants to be part of your dream, especially this kind of dream, how can they collaborate with you? How can they work with you? What kind of help they can provide? I would like to know more about that.
Sure. All they got to do is contact me again. That's in the show notes. And either way, I'm here to help you. And I want this duplicated in your country. I'll send it to the websites and we'll have a discussion. I'll send you pictures. I'll tell you about Wolfing, WWOOF, which is a website, and it represents worldwide opportunity organic farming. And what it is organic farms around the world, and will open up their doors for you. You come and live there. They feed you. You have a place to sleep, and you do work for them. Or since I have the knowledge of how to build a dome house, they were interested in me coming to their farm. So I would teach them, and then they would feed me. So before I left America, I knew nobody in the Philippines. I knew where I was going. So I landed in Manila. And like a week later, the farmer picked me up from my hotel and took me to his farm. And I stayed there for 6 weeks. And so you don't have to spend a lot of money and actually go to another country and not know a single person and do that through this woofing. And you'll meet that person, and then they refer you, and then you know the local people, and then you do your work, and then it just goes on to on. So I'm on my second farm right now. I've been invited to a farm north of Manila, one south of Manila, and actually I met a lady who wants me to come to Taiwan to her father's farm and do the same thing there. So it can just multiply and duplicate everywhere. So back to your book question, it's very simple. What I do is I type up what I want, and then I'm not a very good writer, but I know what I want, but I'm not very good at the English. So I hire someone to correct it. And now with AI, you write it all out, run it through AI, make it work right, and then rewrite it so that it doesn't sound like AI. It's going to be your words. And then what you do is I send it to a friend of mine, and he puts in pictures and puts it into a flip book, sends it back to me, and all I do is upload it to Amazon. And in 3 days, it's sold worldwide. And
Huh.
it's not difficult. It's now so simple for you to share your ideas, and you don't have to be the artist. You don't have to be the editor. You don't have to know everything. Just get it somewhat packaged and then pass it on. And it'll be worked on and come back and upload it.
I would like to have your friend's contact number because I have written books and my books are actually based on spirituality and entrepreneurship. And right now, I'm actually, many people are reading it and they are giving me feedback. So they are going through beta readers, but I would really like to contact to your friend. And I was also told that if you take AI assistance, you cannot sell it on Amazon. But here you are saying, yeah, you took some AI assistance and still you could upload to Amazon. So I think that is a really good to know because that is what I was being told.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
And
have
another thing,
Oh, I was going to say,
no,
when
go ahead.
I have an introduction, and the introduction at the bottom, I say, this is done by AI, but that's the only thing in the entire book. So I wanted AI to do a summary, basically an introduction of my book. So it did a summary for people. But right there, I say, this was done by AI. I tweaked a little bit, I say that too, but because it didn't come out exactly right. But at least I admitted that that one chapter of just the introduction was done by AI just so people could go, oh, okay. So the AI did a whole review of his book and that's what it said. That's what it says. So yeah. But yeah,
Okay.
you're doing AI books.
Okay. I think I should really contact with you. I should stay in contact with you because I think I'll be needing help in that area. Second thing, organic farming is really dear to my heart because I have a pharmaceutical background, and the more I studied pharmacy, I realized that we shouldn't be taking any drugs. And then more I got into that idea that we shouldn't be taking drugs, I started educating myself more about the natural living. And then I realized that how the packaged food and even GMO and all, how many chemicals are there. And anything, when you create something to hurt the nature, we think, okay, we are basically protecting from pest, but you are actually one hurting yourself when you eat that food. So that is actually so much dear to my heart, and our whole family is very much into healthy eating. But we are just trying whatever we can. Means I have a backyard and I grow many of my vegetables and all, but still it's not 100%. It's not like my grandma's lifestyle. My grandma, she used to grind her own flour every morning and she used to make bread out of it and she would eat that, and she never bought anything. They always traded. So if she wanted salt, she would go with her millets and she said, take my millets, give me salt. And that is how. And my grandma lived to be late 90s, almost close to 100. She didn't have any disease. She didn't have glasses. She didn't lose a single tooth. She didn't have gray hair. Perfect life. And it was really amazing to see. And then the next generation, my mom passed away in her early 50s, and she had every lifestyle disease. Means she had heart problems, she had diabetes, and she lived in the urban area. She ate processed food and she lived in the polluted area. So the same genes, but totally different outcomes. So it is so. I'm learning from both generations and I'm trying to do my best, but still, it is not enough. And I really want to, yeah, be part of organic farming, and I want to know more about vertical farming. So yeah, sure. Means I'll go on your site, I'll find more information, and surely I would like to be part of your journey because it sounds really amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the great work you are doing. Means that is the whole goal I have in my life, that the world is little better because I came on this earth. And I really see you are achieving that vision. World is better because you are on this earth and you are doing your part, and this is so inspiring. I really
Well,
really
thank you.
appreciate.
I
I
very
never
appreciate
knew
it.
this side because I saw your profile. I say, okay, date, money. So I was just prepared with all those questions. But when I saw this side, that actually impressed me even more. So
Mhm.
keep up the great work. And in any way, if I can be part of your journey, I would really like to be part of that journey. Thank you. I really
Oh, you're
appreciate.
welcome.
I asked I asked whatever I wanted to ask, but in case I missed something and if you want to add, please feel free to do so here.
Oh, it would go into more things, but I'll just give you one thing. I'm having a hypobaric chamber being built as we speak. So I met up with the university and talking to their department of engineers. So for a school project, I'm giving them a job to create a hypobaric chamber. And you've heard of hyperbaric, which is more pressure. This is the opposite. It sucks the air out. So you actually
Hmm.
lose weight. You go up in the sky, and there's right now is 14 pounds are pushing on your body. When you're at 22,000 feet, you have 8 pounds of pressure lifted off. So it's a pain relief for the first time for people. So you sit in a box, we suck the air out temporarily. Your body thinks it's at 22,000 feet, your pain goes away, and your body becomes more efficient oxygen use. So it kills the cancer cells. And in a matter of a few
Huh.
weeks, you're healed, and you can't find anything about a hypobaric. You type in hypo, the computer auto changed to hyper, and they won't talk about hypo. So I'm building this chamber. It'll be very inexpensive. It'll be part of our clinic to heal people. So I'll share more with you when that comes about as a fruitation of it. And
Oh,
then
okay.
it can be
Because
built
I would
anywhere.
like to be your first customer. I would like to be
Yeah.
for yeah. If you want to keep it only into your clinic, but hey, when you make it
Yeah.
available for someone to buy for their household, yeah, means
Oh
basically,
no.
yeah, sure,
Oh
I
no.
would.
I will show you how simple it is to build, and you can have a carpenter there build it for you, and just have someone who's got a little knowledge of a wiring and stuff, hook up a pump. And so it's that simple. So no, it's not going to be held by me. And no, this is to be shared with the world, something that heals people very quickly and very easily. So yeah, there's more and more and more. Once you start, it's like an onion. You've only peeled off a few layers. There's more to go. And the
Yeah.
spiritualism and the God is all down deep inside.
Oh, yeah, because spirituality is actually even close to my heart. And I really feel whatever good things happening in my life, even whatever happiness I feel, it's everything because of the spirituality. Many people think that spirituality means abandon in the life and go somewhere in jungle. And no, actually, spirituality teaches you how you can find peace and happiness by living your daily life. And that is what I learned from spirituality. And I'm talking to you, I really feel as if I'm just scratching the surface. There is a
Mhm.
lot more inside, and I would like to know more and more. I may go for more podcasting episodes with you, but
Sure.
I really wanted to thank you, and let's stay in touch, let's collaborate, and let's see what we can do for each other. And thank you for coming as a guest, and thank you for blessing our community. Our
Oh,
community is
yeah.
our family, and you are helping our family. So I just want to tell my audience, he is so amazing. He's doing so many things for the world. Now it is our time to make use of this, to make our life better and our loved one's life better. And this is the chance. Please take this chance. And thank you. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate. God bless you. Keep up the
God bless you
great
too.
work. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Success stories from busy professionals just like you. After buying multiple courses and never implementing anything, I was hesitant to try another program. But the combination of ready-made content and the implementation setup done by the New Beginning team made all the difference. I launched my first product while still working my full-time nursing job. And I'm now making $1,200 per month in additional income working just evenings and weekends. Sonia K., registered nurse and digital creator.
Hey, Thanks for joining us. We are blessed to have you as part of our community, and whatever way we can help you, serve you, let us know. Please subscribe and let us know how we can help you, what resources you want. We have lots of free resources and also free collaboration joint venture groups you can join and explode your business, because most solopreneurs quit their business before they launch their first products, and I don't want that to happen to you. And that's why we have special launch service where you can monetize your digitals and become profitable as fast as within 7 days. And if you want to scale your business, join our membership New Beginning Success Collaboration, where we'll provide you MRR and PLR products and collaborations so that you can scale your business with ease and effortlessly. And hey, if you want to sell your digitals all over the world, yes, we will provide you affiliates more than 200 countries. So everything is possible. Just live your dream, follow your dream, and whichever way we can help you, do let us know. Thank you and God bless you.